What it do, everybody? I hope y'all can hear me okay. I'm in the backyard and there's a lot of animals and cars and noise and stuff, but we're always outside, so I feel like y'all should be able to hear me just fine. But I was just noticing like the different sounds. So anyway, let's hop right into it. So we're going to talk about Leo risings today, which is, it's super, what am I going to say? It's super synchronistic, right? So we're talking about Leo risings, and I am at a Leo risings house. Okay, so that's why I was saying it's super synchronistic. Okay, so okay. Okay, so Leo rising. So that means that you have Leo in the first house. So that means that Aries owns the house. Leo is renting the house. So this is a lot of like, to me, the first thing that I wanted to say is boisterous energy. Like, this is a very loud energy. It may not be loud as far as like you speaking, but it's a very loud energy when it walks into a space, when it gets into a space. It's a very loud energy. It's a lot of attention on this energy because you have Aries, the energy of Mars here, but it's Leo, so it's still passionate, it's still fire, but it's like Leo is like an attention, it's a star, it's a performance, it's a big heart, it's a show, it's something that people watch for sure for entertainment, and they want to be entertained. They want to be, when they see you, they do feel entertainment. They do have a lot of love. They do have a lot of admiration. Also, these people have, and this is how other people are viewing you, because it's the rising sign. But since the rising sign is also talking about the body, it's talking about areas on the body where you want to pay attention to, or areas on the body where you just may want to make a special note. And so those areas of the body would definitely be the heart, the back and the spine, and then the hair. So these people may change their hairstyles. These people may have blonde. These people may have black. These people may change the color, change the style of their hair. And they have a really, probably like something's going on with the hair. Like it definitely, because lions is the mane and Leo is the lion. And so it definitely has a lot to do with the hair as far as on the body parts of these people. So when these people step out, they're stepping out, they're the star of the show. Like, what it do, like it's that. Okay, and people give them a lot of love. They give them a lot of respect and admiration. Leo is about like pride, so these people may have a strong like pride, or they may have like a strong egoic nature. Hold on one second, because I'm curious. So may have like a strong like pride or a strong like egoic nature. These people also are very passionate about whatever it is that they love to do, and they get their self-esteem through whatever it is that they love to do. They receive like self-esteem definitely from others. Leo is the performer, but it's like whatever it is that they love to do, their passion, their purpose that they do for fun, the pleasures in life, they're like things that they do like just for fun. Those are the things that they're going to receive the most pleasure for, and they're also going to receive their self-esteem for. They also can be seen as very fun people that like to have a lot of fun, people that are always laughing and joking and playing. Leo is the sign of like it's like the sign of like not a kid, kind of kid, but kind of like middle age or type of thing, like 10, you know, something like that. So it's very fun. It's all about kids and things like that. So these people could be very good with kids too. Or kids just automatically want to come up to them and play with them when they're in different places, because remember, the rising sign is what's in your body, and it's also what other people are seeing when they see you. So second house is Virgo. So whatever you do, it's very methodical. Whatever you do as far as for your value or for your money, people can look at you to be like very methodical and very dependable, very like, it's like very strategic, very calculated, very habitual, very routine. So you do well in routines. You do well in a very routine order. That is like some of the value that you bring to the table as a Leo rising, is your ability to bring that okay, that's over there. Your ability to bring that like habitual nature, that investigative nature. You're probably very investigative and have very great analytical and investigative skills. You're able to investigate something and really kind of look at it, look from all different spaces, be able to pull out the errors, be able to pull out the imperfections, and be able to really like strategically like look at it, and do this a lot of different times. So something that you do in your day-to-day life where you make money from, you'll be pulling out the errors and figuring out like, okay, this is not this and this is not that, and you're really good at it, and this is something that you bring to the table as a value, because you have very, very strong attention to detail, and so you may be analyzing things, observing things, and then you're able to bring out, you're able to bring out the error, or you're able to make a judgment on something based on your analytical skills, based on how well you're able to analyze something. And then also you're good at being a servant type of person, like having like that servitude, like that servant leader, or that, because you are definitely a leader. You have Leo in the first house, so having that like servitude leader type of style, where it's not super authoritative, but it's more so like, hey, how can I be of service to you? You be of service to the team. We be of service to each other. And then you're good at analyzing, you're good at analyzing things, people, whatever the case may be. So you definitely will be paid for and will have value in your investigative, your analytical, and your ability to have a routine. Those are things that are going to be very, very valuable as you move throughout the course of your life, no matter where you are. Third house, Libra. Okay, so your third house, which is like your friends, your family, your siblings, your cousins, your immediate surroundings, and it's also your communication style. So when you communicate, you may like to communicate very like, I think that, now don't get mad at me, Libras, okay? But I feel like the Libra energy is very like surface. Like, it doesn't really like to go under the table. It likes to stay on the surface. It likes to talk like back and forth like to the other, but it doesn't really want to get that deep. It wants to just stay on the surface and keep everything malleable, keep everything hospitable, keep everything balanced, keep everything fair, keep everything diplomatic. So when you are communicating, more than likely you want to keep things fair. You want to keep things diplomatic. You want to keep things very aesthetically pleasing when it comes to the communication that you give to others. When it comes to how you communicate with your siblings, how you communicate with your cousins, how you communicate with the people who are closest to you, how you communicate with the people that, you know, like are your, I guess you could say kind of like your friends, but your friends that are more like your sisters. Like, these are people that you want to communicate very fairly with them, very diplomatic, very kindly. You are someone who, in your like close surroundings, you may like to have aesthetically pleasing people. You may inspire people to be aesthetically pleasing. Definitely Libra likes things to be aesthetically pleasing. And then also, you like to be around people who are intellectually stimulating, and you may be very intellectually stimulating when speaking with the people who are closest to you, like I already named. Because remember, Libra is an air sign, and so Libra, that is all about the intelligence. And so you are very intelligent. You like to be around people who are intelligent, and you like to kind of, you know, probably go back and forth with good conversation that's on the surface, not like too, you know, too far down there. Now, you may do that when it comes to people in your family, right? Which moves us to the 4th house, which is in Scorpio. So yeah, that lets me know that you like to get a little bit deeper when it comes to family matters, when it comes to things that are like really, really, you know, like the root of things. You definitely want to get down to the root of things, and you definitely have a mind to be in the root of things, because when we move to the 4th house, it's actually ruled by Virgo. So Virgo owns it, Scorpio's renting it, so then it makes you want to go back to your 2nd house. Remember, you had Virgo there, so remember, Virgo owns this house where Scorpio is, so that lets me know that you could be working with resources. You could be working with other people's resources, merging things, because Scorpio is a mergy sign, and it likes to work with other people's resources, and everybody bring their resources to the table to be able to merge and to be able to all come together. And so that lets me know that that's something that you're doing, that's a value that you have, that's something that you're doing for money, you know, maybe for work, or maybe just, you know, that's just a value that you bring. You're able to merge, and you do this in your family. So you may be a person that comes to the table with resources in a space where people are coming together with resources. There may have been some type of betrayal or emotional crises, or just some type of emotional crises within the family, within the roots of the family. And those things definitely will use your analytical skills to be able to understand what it is that's going on, and to be able to bring those things out, and to be able to transform utilizing those things, to be able to transform utilizing those things. Because when we go through Scorpio, we go through emotional upheaval, we go through emotional betrayal, and we're able to transform those energies into whatever we want it to be, while simultaneously using the resources that are around us. So that is what's going on in your house of home and in your house of family. So there may be just, you know, certain betrayals, but just because we get betrayed doesn't mean that we have to stay in that energy. It doesn't mean that we always have to look at that person as that, or look at those people as that. It just means that, you know, this certain thing happened to reveal something to you. Now you transform it, you turn it into gold, and utilize the resources around you to, you know, create the life, or to create your desires. So that's the 4th house for family, right? So lots of work as pertaining to the family as far as enter. I didn't say enter, I said inner work. So yeah. So then we go to the 5th house. 5th house is Sagittarius, which, okay, so you like to do religion for fun. Like, you like to maybe do higher education. You could be seen as someone who is a religious figure, because we're gonna go back to the 5th house is owned by Leo, but your Leo is in the 1st. So you could be seen as someone who is a religious figure, because Sagittarius is in your 5th. Sagittarius is renting your 5th. So a little bit of that ask is going to go back to the 1st house, because Leo, where's Leo? Where does, yeah. So you could be seen as like a religious leader, someone who has like higher knowledge in a specific area, in a specific space. You also could be seen as someone who likes to have fun, who's someone who is like a joker and wants to laugh and have joy, and not with all of that other shit. Like, you just want to like enjoy life, and you want to explore, and you want to have different you want to have just different experiences, not necessarily experiences here, but with like people that you know all the time, but people that you don't know, new people, new languages, new foods, new experiences, just all of these different types of things, which is Sagittarius, which Sagittarius is teaching us after we left Scorpio in the dark, and we learned about the truths of, like, we learned about like the darkness of life. Now we're out of that fucking dark place, and we're like, fuck that, I'm trying to, oh, sorry y'all, I curse a lot. Oh my god, I'm not gonna be able. Joking. Okay, so we want to get into Sagittarius, like I said, and it's more so the fun, jovial. Like, okay, I know the truth, I know all that dark stuff, but like, let's have fun. Like, we know that like our higher selves don't want that for us. Like, we know God doesn't want that for us. Like, very like kind of like spiritual, religious type of thing, and you make it fun. Like, it's a fun type of spirituality. It's a fun type of you know, religious type of thing. You know, it doesn't have to be all buttoned up or whatever that professors look like, because you maybe make professors fun. Okay, that profession, whatever profession it is, and I say professors because professors teach. Also, Sagittarius is the sign of the guru. So you may be a guru in fun, in kids, in creative expression, in creativity, and being able to create, right? Let's see. Okay, now we have Capricorn. Capricorn in the 6th house. So what you do every day is going to be very structured businesses, working for big organizations, working and making, like, you're a part of a large business plan, or you may want to create a business plan. You may be the type, yeah, I'm going to create a business, but you're like, I need a business plan. I want to make the business plan, and I want to work on it every single day. This goes back to the 2nd house again, because Virgo owns the 6th. Virgo owns the 6th. Why was I saying that Virgo owned the 4th? Cancer owns the 4th. Honey, I be talking fast, and I be thinking. You see, I'm doing all of this from the dome. Like, I ain't writing no notes. Not to say that anything is wrong with notes, but just to say that this should just be coming to me, and I just be expressing it and how I be expressing it. So, 4th house, you can still listen to what I said about it, because we were talking about Scorpio, and I know it was on point. So, we're back to 4th, 5th, 6th house. 6th house is in Capricorn. So what you do is going to be for a large corporation, large businesses, also government, also like I said, you're going to be creating business plans. You see business plans, you understand business plans, and you understand how business plans work, because you've been working, more than likely doing something very habitually, because Virgo is the 6th house, and Virgo is habit. Virgo is what we do consistently. Virgo is the mythology. Virgo is how we break stuff down so that we can reap the harvest that we're going to get. Virgo is how we organize things. So you may need to be organized within whatever you do on a specific basis. Organization could be a key to your success be a key to you climbing the mountain and climbing the corporate ladder. You may be someone who climbs the corporate ladder, who moves up in leadership through time, through work, through dedication. You may continue to move up. And Capricorn is all about moving up. Capricorn is all about leveling up. So whether that be a level up in the material, which that's where Capricorn wants to level up, because Capricorn is it's an earth sign, but it's the sea goat. So it came from the sea. So that means it came from the spiritual, and now it's coming into the physical, right? So you are a very spiritual person. You utilize your spirituality to be able to will those things in materially. And it takes time, and it takes patience, and it takes the keep goingness, right? So you will move up in that corporate ladder in your 6th house of work. Sometimes there may be some type of servitude in work, like we said, you being that servant leader. And there may have to be, because like the 6th house is a house of like some dark too. So I was thinking about it from a standpoint of, instead of like being because like the 6th house can like speak to like being like a slave and things like that. So instead of being a slave to like a corporation or like being a slave to something outside of yourself, I think it talks about like killing the slave within yourself and then being able to keep moving and keep doing it what it is that you're doing, but not allow yourself to be a slave to a corporation or a large government or a large business or something like that. Like, make sure that it's giving you what what you need in response to that, or creating a business plan so you can do your own thing, whatever it is that you want to do. But just know that within the 6th house and to large organizations, you are not a slave, period. Okay, so moving to the 7th house, and then the 7th house is in Aquarius. So that means that whoever that you're with, like, y'all probably are, either this person is Aquarius or has an Aquarius-like vibe. Y'all could have a very detached relationship. Y'all are together, but you're not. Y'all are, and this is like your marriage partner. Y'all are together, but you're not. Y'all are emotional, but you're not. Like, it's a very emotionally detached type of relationship, but it's a very structured relationship. It is a very, Saturn type of relationship. So Saturn gives us the fruits and the rewards for things that we put in the work in, things that we stick to, things that we keep going in, right? So this relationship probably may require some time, some stick-wittedness, but it probably will be a little emotionally detached, and it'll be different from other relationships with like this friend or that friend or this person or this person. Like, it'll be different because Aquarius talks about like the difference in a specific like relationship. And then it can also be like a very friendship like energy there. Like, instead of it being like super romantic and like stuff like that, like, it's just a very like friendship type of like type of relationship. Like, it's very very friendship, very humanitarian. You all may give to each other, you all may share with each other, that type of thing. And then also the 7th house is just ruling the other. So just the other in general, not necessarily someone who you're having a romantic relationship or like a marriage with, but someone who you're just talking to on the side of the other. You tend to meet and attract people who are eccentric, and who are just a different type of person from outside of, you know, like outside of the norm. You seem to attract these types of people, and you learn from these types of people. These types of people learn from you. Y'all have a very reciprocal type of relationship because it's the 7th house. Also, they say the 7th house could rule open enemies, but I really don't feel like people are open enemies. I just really feel like there may be a little tinge or whatever, and obvious sometimes that tinge just needs to be talked through and worked through. And then you have the communication skills to be able to do that, because once again, going back to the 3rd house, which is our communication and how we communicate, Libra owns the 7th house where this Aquarius energy is. So you have the ability to communicate and not to become very emotional in what you're communicating, and just to keep it kind of, you know, keep it kind of detached. And keep it like very, like I said, like kind of like that surface level without having to go too much into the emotion and too deep into it. It just can be surface. And so some of those may be your best conversations with people who have that same ability and who communicate that way. So this is your 7th house. And yeah, I don't really believe in the whole open enemies thing, because I don't believe in enemies. So I believe in, anyway, that's for another video. So 8th house, we have Pisces in the 8th house. So very psychic, very, very, very psychic. Like, and just like can pick up on things without anyone saying anything, like the things that are going on underneath the table, because Scorpio owns this house, but Pisces is here. So Pisces is a water sign, Scorpio is a water sign, so it's a mergy type of energy, and it's a feeling definitely type of energy. You can pick up on other people's energy. You may like receive other people's energy into your energy. Like, it's a merging type of energy, because 8th house is ruled by Scorpio, and Scorpio is a mergy type of sign, so it wants to merge without limitations, without boundaries. And then Pisces doesn't have any boundaries at all, so it's just like free fall, like feeling all the emotions and feeling all the things. And it's sometimes hard to decipher through like what's going on and what it is. And that's why you come back to that 2nd house, which that's why you come back to that 2nd house, which is going to help you to ground. That 2nd house is in Virgo, so it helps you to like decipher and try to analyze like these different emotions, to analyze like what's really something that you should keep for the harvest and what's something that you should just let go, because hey, this is not my fucking emotion. I don't know where this shit is coming from. It could be, oh gosh, I'm not supposed to be cursing. It could be coming from the other person. And once again, 8th house is just like the depths of like the relationship. So depths of relationships, you could pick up a lot of energy and just a lot of, I guess not even necessarily communication, but probably like thoughts, feelings, emotions, which is a form of communication, but it's like silent communication, but it's not silent for you. It probably gets really loud. And so very intuitive, very psychic, very feely. And when I say feely, I mean that you can feel things, you can feel others. But also with that, be careful with thinking that you feel something that you don't, because it can get very fucking cloudy in there, because it's Pisces and it's 8th house, and it could just get cloudy. So use that discernment and use that analytical and use that research based value to be able to like really understand like what it is that's going on in there, because that can be a lot. Okay, 9th house. 9th house is Aries. So when it comes to your higher knowledge, when it comes to your zest for life, when it comes to your philosophies and things like that, like you could be very you could be very like kind of, I guess I don't want to say forceful, but Aries is kind of like forceful. It's kind of like a Mars type of energy. And it also rules the father. So ninth house, your father could have like Aries energy. Your father could be an Aries. And so you kind of learn that from your father, like the kind of like off the cuff, off the handle type of like teaching, or like type of like how to like live your life type of thing. Because like Sagittarius owns this house, but Aries is in it, so it's still that fire, but it's also like the truth of life, like higher knowledge, like expansion. Like you may have an instinct for expansion, you may have an instinct for higher knowledge, you may have an instinct to go and to be the best at whatever it is that you're teaching. Be excellent, or be the number one at whatever it is that you're teaching, whatever it is that you decide to have higher knowledge in, which is like your bachelor's degree, your master's degree, your this, you know, like that can be seen as like higher knowledge. Or also just like going up into the mountains and like just fucking sitting there could also be seen as higher knowledge, because sometimes you need to get away from friends, family, people that you know, and you need to go into the mountains, into the Himalayas, and like find yourself and find God. And so you could have an instinct to want to do that. You could have an instinct to want to go on like a different route and a different quest for truth than maybe what you've seen, or what you've like, you know, what you've developed around, or whatever, you know, what you've seen, what has been developed in the people that you know, whatever the case may be. Like you have a instinct to want to go outward and to want to get out of what you know. You have an instinct to do that, but you have a very rooted expression and earthly like, I guess, habit, or bound to like being very like methodical and doing the same things over and over and over again too. So being able to kind of go back and forth from those things is a great dynamic. Who do we have next? Okay, so we were just talking about Aries, so now we're going to talk about Taurus in the 10th. So you are seen by other people as someone who is financially responsible, who is financially reliable, who is sturdy, who is grounded in the physical reality. And then this goes back to the second house, what we were just talking about. And then Taurus, because Taurus rules the second house, so it goes back there. And I went Aries. Okay, let's take a step back. So I'm thinking the 1st, the 5th, and the 9th, they're all tied, because you have Leo in the 1st, then you have Sagittarius in the 5th, and then you have Aries in the 9th. So Aries owns the 1st. Leo owns the 5th. And Sagittarius owns the 9th. So that 1st, that 5th, and that 9th house are all fire, and they're all tied into each other. So take the information that you've heard from each of those and tie it all in. Moving to the 10th house with Taurus, which is going to tie back into the 2nd house, because Taurus owns the 2nd house and Capricorn owns the 10th house. So then we're going to go to your 6th house. So you're at 2, 6, and 10. So you're at 2, 6, and 10. These are all the earth houses. So you're seen at the epitome of who you are for being very grounded and having a lot of earth energy, being stable, being grounded, being lush, being beautiful, being very sensual, very soft. Because Taurus is that type of energy. Taurus is the full garden. Taurus is stubborn and fixed in that. So you'll always be seen as that. You'll always be seen as the person who has a lot of tangible resources. Whether that be money, whether that be possessions, whether that be items, whether that be the pleasures of life. Because Taurus literally is like the pleasures of life. Like Aries was, okay, we're here, like we gotta trailblaze some shit, we gotta like figure out like what is going on here. And then Taurus is like, okay, we trailblazed a little bit, we, you know, I've been working, like I'm finna sit here for a minute and I'm finna enjoy what it is that I work for. I'm finna eat this off the vine. Like, I'm finna eat this grape. I'm finna build me a house with some shade. Like, I'm finna chill. Like, put my feet up, you know, on the little cocoa bean. I'm finna give me a massage. Like, I'm going to be lush. And I'm going to enjoy the fruits of the labor that I have put in. And so, that is what your 10th house is. Also, 10th house is you could be really good at finances. Or you could be in a financial institution, because Taurus often rules like finances and money. That's what a lot of people equate it to, but I like to also equate it to value. So whatever you utilize to make money from that second house and to like create money out of thin air from your value, that's what you're going to be seen for in the 10th house. And it's going to be lush. Period. Okay, so moving to the 11th house, which is going to be Gemini. And so it goes back to your 3rd house, which your 3rd house was in Libra. So coming back up here to the 11th house, which are hope, dreams, wishes, humanitarian efforts. It's owned by Aquarius, so you could be doing something with that spouse, with that those eccentric people, and you could be doing something with those eccentric people in the 11th house of your hope, dreams, and wishes. And it involves you speaking. It involves you talking. It involves you teaching, like taking in information and then spitting it back out. It's not like the long education, like Sagittarius. It's like more short education. Gemini is more short education, like, okay, I took this class, okay, I got this certification. Like Sagittarius is like, I got this PhD, or I got this doctorate, or whatever. So in the 11th house, you will be communicating about things that, okay, you got like a class or a certification, or or it could be like aesthetically pleasing things, because the 3rd house goes back to Libra, and those are connected because of the rulerships. So it could be something that has to do with, like, I thought about home interior design, like that just came up, like home improvement, home interior design. I don't know, like you could be communicating about something like that. Yeah, you can be communicating about something like that. You could be just communicating with people that are in your close proximity area. And this is like hope, dreams, and wishes, the Leo rising that I was thinking about the show. We supposed to be doing a show, but anyway, we'll get to that later. But 11th house Gemini, hopes, dreams, wishes when it comes to, okay, hopes, dreams, wishes when it comes to communication. Writing a book, or writing a series of books, short books. Helping the people who are good and bad. Because also the humanitarian is there, and then the humanitarian energy is there, and then Gemini is there. So it's two sides, good and bad, light and dark. And so being able to assist those people, and being able to detach from the emotion behind assisting them. And then we get to the 12th, to the 12th, to the 12th house. Okay, 12th house, you have what's after Gemini. You have Cancer in the 12th house. So with Cancer being in the 12th house, once again, it's like one of those same type of energies where you had Pisces in the 8th. Like, this is another water on top of water. So again, just the signs of a very intuitive, like, type of feeling type of person, and like the sign of someone who could, because I was thinking about Cancer energy earlier, and if like all the water signs were like in a house and like they were sneaking up on somebody, like how they would react. And I said Cancer would be the one that like pops out of the closet, like when you get in the room, like they pop out of the closet and they're like, yeah, you know. And then Scorpio would be the person that just like sits in the closet the whole time and just like watches you. And then probably like texts you like later on in the last week, it was like, oh, you put that blue shirt on Monday, huh? And fuck you up. You're like, what the fuck? And then Pisces would be the person that's in the closet and they'll like be making sounds while you sleep and shit. You know, or baby, whatever. Like, they'll be making signs while you sleep and shit to fuck with your mind, fuck with your sleep, fuck with like, oh, you think some spirits in this motherfucker or something like that. So that was my kind of like breakdown of that. I don't know where it came from, but anyway, I'm gonna have to make some up about it. But Cancer in the 12th house, let's see what spirit says. Very intuitively gifted. These people know what's going on. They know, and they need to trust, because this is unseen. And a lot of things at times when they're unseen, they are not valued by us and by others because they are unseen. But this energy is one that picks up and knows and has understanding of things that are unseen. Picking up on thoughts, picking up on feelings, picking up on emotions. This is a very spiritual house. They say that this house rules secret enemies. But remember, the only enemies that we have are the enemies within ourselves. So in this house, those things may be very pertinent and something that you have to dive deep into the silence to pull out and to see and to examine. And they may cause emotional crises. and they may cause loss and distress. But going there, the 12th house, with all of this water in this chart, these people are very spiritually gifted. Yeah. It's some stuff there. So, dig into it. You can book a reading with me. I'll help you to dig into it. We can pull some cards. We can get some intuitive downloads. We can dance. We can have fun with it. Oh yeah, this happened to you. So what? Moving on but to ooh. You know, we can make it fun. We can make it fun. But it's some shit. Okay, so I love you all. Thank you all for watching my beautiful Leo risings. You have a great day. Don't forget, you can book a reading with me. I'm going to leave the link below. And you are the ruler of your destiny. I'm wishing you love. I'm wishing you peace. And I'm wishing you abundance forever.